Hi, this is Andrea Earle with your Canvas tip of the day, number 13, randomizing questions in new quizzes. Start by selecting the Quizzes tab in the course navigation. Now we're going to go ahead and create a new quiz and select New Quizzes. The first screen are all of your settings for your quiz. So I'm going to call this decimals and percents. I want students to practice converting common decimals into percents. I'm going to make this quiz worth 5 points. It's an assignment, just practice. Don't want it sinking. And then I'm going to select build. Before I do, however, be aware of the points here need to match your points in the actual quiz, or Canvas will calculate the correct number of points for you. We're going to select build, and I'll explain that in a moment. In the top section, I can add some directions, answer these questions, convert decimals to whatever I want to say. Let's say done. I now want to go and add items. For this example, I want it to be numeric. So I'm going to click a numeric. And I want to also have a little title here. I'm going to call this decimals to percents, so I know. The students don't see this section, but it's a good reminder to you about what topic this question covers. I do want an exact response, and I'm going to put the question. So the decimal to a 0.5 equals, and I'm going to say blank percent. I don't want students to have to put the percent sign. That does cause a lot of errors, or them to have a lot of errors in the quiz. So what is 0.5 as a percent? It is 50%. So my answer is going to be 50. Now I want kids to have kind of a random selection of questions. I don't want every student getting exactly the same one. And if students take the test again, I don't want them to get the same exact questions, but I do want them to develop fluency with the skill. So I'm going to create an item bank. So by opening the item bank, I'm going to say add to a bank. I don't have an item bank for this yet, so I'm going to call it decimals to percents. And I'm going to click add. I now can go over to my item banks, search for the item bank I need in this course, decimals. Oh, it's not here. So let's check all banks. Decimals. There we go. Decimals to percent, 2% created today. Okay. And I've got one question. I can simply duplicate this question. I want to put it in the same item bank. Decimals to percents. I want to add it. And now I can go ahead and edit the second question. So now maybe I want 0.2. And the answer is 20%. Done. Now I'm going to duplicate it again. Same item bank. And make sure that the new one always goes on top. Maybe I want 0.02 this time. And the answer is 2%. So you notice the questions are all looking alike. And I'm going to keep doing till I have about 10 questions. Now I have about 10 items in my question bank, but I only want students to complete 5 of them. So if I'm in my quiz, let's just go back to the quiz here. If I'm in the quiz, I can go ahead and delete this one question. And now I'm going to add item banks. So I go to item bank. I find the item bank I want, which is already here. And then I'm going to add the item bank to the quiz. Notice it says over here, questions 1 through 10. But if I click on it, I can drill down. So do I want to use all the questions in the item bank or randomly selected? I'm going to pick randomly selected, and I'm going to say I want 5. I'm also going to say that each question is 1 point each. When I say done, you can see that 5 randomly selected questions will be pulled from the item bank. I now can go ahead and then add any other question I want. For example, maybe I want a new, maybe I want an ordering question. And this is also going to be decimals, but I don't want it in that item bank because I don't want it to accidentally get pulled. So I'm going to say decimals and percents. And maybe I'm going to say from smallest to largest. And maybe now I'm going to put some decimals and percents here. So maybe I'm going to start with 0.5, 0.2, 30%. Notice I do need to put them in the order I want them in. I'm going to put 0.56, 89%. And I want one more. I'm going to add another answer, and I'm going to say 1 whole. And now I have the correct order. Students will see it in a random order. I do need to add directions here. I'm going to say place these decimals and percents in order from smallest to largest. And a period. And now I'm done with that question. I do want the labels to show smallest and largest so that they know which way the order should go. And now I'm done with my quiz. I can preview my quiz by clicking on the preview button, and this is what students will see. They have to answer, there's their 5 questions of converting decimals to percents, and then there's the ordering. And the way they order is just by dragging in the order they want it. When students are done, of course, they hit submit, but let's go ahead and return. So there's a couple other things that you can do with this quiz in terms of settings. And I did that wrong. Don't hit return. Instead, when you're inside the quiz building, I do that all the time. After preview, go to the bottom right-hand corner and click exit preview. And then you won't have to go through everything I just did. Okay, I'm back at my quiz and I can look at the settings. I can shuffle the questions. I can shuffle the answers. It's not multiple choice, so that really doesn't matter. But I can have one question at a time. I do want backtracking. If they want to go backwards and redo a question, I'm fine with that. But I just think it's a little less distracting for students. I could require an access code so they can only access the test when I give them the code. I won't do that now because I'll probably forget. Time limit, if you want to give them a time limit, you can. I usually put a time limit, but often I'll just make it like an hour because what that'll do, sometimes students will take the quiz and they forget to submit. At the end of the hour, it'll get automatically submitted for you. Multiple attempts, I always let students take multiple attempts, but I always keep their latest score. All right, if you want to require time between attempts, maybe you want them to go back and practice or study or review. And you can restrict students from seeing the results. So depending on the topic, sometimes I don't want them to see the correct answers. because you can show points awarded overall, points possible, or you can even show the items and the questions and student responses and indicate correct or incorrect answers. And I'm going to go ahead and do that because it's math and I want them to memorize. This is simply a DOK1, very basic skill. They need to memorize at this point. Now that I'm done with my test, I can go back to return, take me back to my main menu, and now I can assign this quiz. And just a quick reminder that quizzes don't just need to be for assessments. They can also be assignments. I hope you found this tip of the day helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.